Call the February 2024 Park and Recreational Board meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right, roll call.
I'm sorry. Stephanie Kriesbaum,
Here.
Mary Therese Roberts,
Here.
Mike Moffett,
Here.
Pat Conley,
Here.
Bill Manisopoulos, Town Manager.
Right. Approval of minutes. If everybody had a chance to look at the minutes that were posted from last month's meeting, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the minutes as posted in the January 24th, 2024 meeting.
I'd like to approve the minutes, put a motion to approve minutes for the January 2024 Parks Board minutes.
You got a motion?
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor, signify with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed with an nay. And it's carried. Old business. Do we not have any old business? Anybody have any old business? I don't have anything on here. For new business, consider the approval of the 2024 independent contractor agreement for board and brush events with Jolene Parka. Billy?
So this will be an event on March 20th. It'll be held at the Parks Board Building. Residents are encouraged to sign up.
Yeah, we'll do these separate. Entertain a motion that we consider the approval of the 2024 independent contractor agreement for board and brush events with Jolene Parka.
I'll make a motion to consider approval of 2024 independent contractor agreement for board and brush events with Jolene Oparka.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor of this approval signify with an aye.
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 All opposed with an nay, and it's carried. Letter B, consider the approval of the 2024 independent contractor agreement for BLAST, which is babysitter lessons and safety training. The class is with Teresa Radermacher. Billy?
This also will be held at the Parks Building on April 6th and on June 1st.
Entertain a motion to consider the approval of the 2024 independent contractor agreement for BLAST babysitter lessons and safety trainings with Teresa Radermacher.
I'll make a motion to consider the independent contract agreement for BLAST babysitter lessons and safety training classes with Teresa Rademacher.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a second. All in favor signify with an aye.
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 Opposed with an A. And it's carried. Letter C, consider approval of the 2024 independent contractor agreement for ukulele and guitar lessons with Aaron Harris of Revolution Music. Billy?
So these guitar lessons will be held on Mondays between June 24th and July 29th, and on Wednesdays from June 19th to the 31st at Revolution's Music.
Consider that approval. Anybody like to make the motion?
I'll make a motion to consider approval for the 2024 independent contractors agreement for ukulele and guitar lessons with Aaron Harris of Revolution Music.
We have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion signify with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed with an A. And it's carried. Letter D, consider the approval of the 2024 contract agreement with Gary Shakespeare Company for a free summer concert series in the park at Lake Hills Park Amphitheater. Billy?
Again, you basically described it, Mike. It'll be on July 26th from 7 to 9. It is a free event. We encourage everyone to come out.
Did I read the same one twice, or? No, that's just the same thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Confused myself. Like to entertain that motion.
I'll make a motion to consider approval of the 2024 contract agreement with Gary Shakespeare Company for a free summer concert series in the park at Lake Hills Park Amphitheater.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify with an aye.
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 Opposed with an A. And it's carried. 4-0. 3, discussion and actions on the farmer's market location. Billy?
So, the board has been given both locations of potential sites for the farmer's market. You've read the pros and cons from some of the vendors and most of the vendors. So we're looking tonight for a decision of where the farmer's market should be held for this season.
All right. I don't know, we had them in here last year. We had, the actual
I
vendors
was
were in
at that
here.
meeting.
We had a pretty good, or decent representation. And pretty much the general consensus that night was they liked the new location at Lake Central. There were some issues that they were trying to work on with, leveling of water with certain kinds of foods and stuff. But at that time, we decided to stay with it, for that year.
At Lake Central.
What's that? At Lake
At
Central.
Lake Central.
So, I mean,
Is from what the comments that were made about community versus Lake Central, I thought it was like half and half, or no one really, some vendors really liked it at community versus being at the high school. And I noticed someone today posted about wanting to go back to community. That was just from today, so to be honest with you, I've gone to the one at community. I did not go since it's been at Lake Central, just time wise, but I here or there. I liked it, period. I mean, if we're talking about space, that's one thing. But how much space are we able to get at Lake Central? Are we limited to just the one area where it was? Or are we able to expand it throughout if it turns into something like that?
but
No, go ahead, I'm just clearing my throat.
I believe we had access to the blue, and we had however we wanted to work out the lots at Lake Central.
Right, so they'll allow it to expand.
And they were allowing it, but I think they liked the idea of staying in the purple lot, which is the closest to the soccer field.
Yes.
Because of the bathroom access.
Right.
And that was one of the big things people liked about Lake Central was the bathroom access. I don't care either way.
Right,
So, and just to go on, it was more leaning towards the community center, our community hospital location, as opposed to Lake Central when we did contact the vendors that did respond. And some of the feedback that we were getting was it was a more central location at community. Both obviously have their pros and their cons, but as a whole, we saw more of a push towards taking back to community.
And that's more recent.
Yes,
Yes.
Okay, so that's,
yeah.
it sounds like they're
Different than
go to more
before.
community.
Right.
then. You have any opinion either way, or?
My thing is what I wanted to do, I wanted to contact Billy, but I never got a chance to. I'd like to contact these vendors and, just see what they want and majority rules, after they, because there is pros and cons with everything. They love the bathrooms at
Right.
Lake Central,
So-
I really don't care either way. I just want to make them happy that they'll stay and keep coming back.
well,
So-
if the majority is talking about wanting to be at community,
So,
That's the
yeah,
difference.
just for
That's what I'm
the
getting at.
question that you had, we did contact them in the past, say 30 days.
Okay.
And that was the consensus, that they
Yeah.
prefer to see it back there.
I'm fine with that then.
Yep.
As long as they're happy.
yeah, that's who we want there.
Exactly.
Either way, I don't think anybody is upset.
And I inquired a little more, I wanted to know, well, is it the old vendors that have been coming and making our farmer's market what it is? That are saying they want to go to back to community, or is it just new kids on the block? And it was the old, it's our regular, the meat,
That wanted to stay community.
that want to stay at
And
community.
that was kind of, there was that consensus that they had lost, I think that sum up to 20% of their, of the revenue of people because they moved. It's not the same thing.
Right,
And they
right.
had the feeling like, well, we'll probably get it back and everything. So, I mean, almost makes sense then,
To go
you know,
back
to go back.
Yeah, because if that's what they want. you know.
Right,
And if they don't like it, we
I
can
agree.
look at it next year.
You know, I look at it as Lake Central's all the way at the end of town. You know, people are more apt to, in my opinion, when they're out going to Strax or church or Target, they'll see the farmer's market and stop. You know, where Lake Central, you might see a bunch of cars, but you don't realize it's a farmer's market because the high school's busy. It's always busy.
Right. And there's no signs really for it. And then, I had some older people who are my friends that are retired and everything, and, they went to community looking for the farmer's market, and they're like, it took about 3 or 4 weeks before they called me and said, hey, are you no longer no farmer's market anymore? I'm like, yeah, it's at the high school.
right.
So if they don't go that way, because I go west all the time to work, so I would never pass Lake Central. I do now because I have my kids and stuff, but other than work and everything, I go west. So if I'm not passing, I don't know what's there.
Right.
That's what happened to us as well, because first week we went there and there was nothing there, and there was no sign saying that it was at Lake Central or anything, so.
I think we kind of all are on the
Yeah,
same page.
I think so.
Somebody'd like to make a motion on, where you think we'd like the location be, and we can go from there.
I'll make a motion for it to go back to community for the farmer's market location.
All right, we have a motion to move the farmer's market location back to community outpatient, St. John. Do we have a second on that?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor of moving it to community outpatient, signify with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried 4-0. Reports and correspondence from the board members. Anybody have anything, Pat?
No, sir. Oh, you know what?
Oh, wait.
I do have a question. This is probably more for, all of us and Billy. I was actually, when I came here today, there was a young gentleman, probably about 12 years old, going to the park with his basketball.
I
So
see
I
him.
asked him, I'm like, hey, is there any, I'm a member of the park board, is there anything that we can do for you, and blah, blah, blah. He said, well, and it's kind of different because I don't know what we can do, but he said, when we're playing and we fall, we slide, we get like raspberries on our arms, or or get hurt or whatever. He says the court is kind of grainy. He said, is there any way they can smooth out the court? So I don't know if we can go with something to top the pre-existing courts, or in future reference, if any more are built, maybe decide to go like a painted concrete or a stamped concrete type of thing, or what?
Which court you talking?
Right here.
Right here.
These are actually rubber.
Okay.
It's actually like a,
The pour and play?
it's like a,
Basically like a pour and play?
Yeah.
it's, well, I think it was more like one by, like, almost like tiles that are put in.
Right.
So that was how they did this one, so it would have a little bit more of a rubbery
Right.
bottom, to where the other ones are actual brand-new blacktop.
Okay. Yeah, because he, I would say keep him that way because it sounds like he wasn't complaining about any of the other ones except for this one. But that's one kid in the neighborhood. I was just happened to be walking by.
Right. Right.
I can look at it tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big deal.
Anything else? Mary. Oh, right, Beth.
Really, she's much younger and
Mary Teresa
prettier.
Roberts, sounds like Beth.
You guys look like sisters.
I'd like to suggest that we get together for a study session prior to our next meeting and discuss the baseball. I think we need to get that taken care of. I think our youth deserves to know where they're at. We're advertising, kids are signing up. Let's get that sealed and let everybody know their fate.
So I can jump in there real quick, Mike. The contract was turned over to the new town attorney. He is in the process of getting everything finalized. He has a meeting, I believe Friday, with both the baseball and softball. And as soon as I have that information, I will make it available to you guys.
Sorry.
Does anybody object meeting after Billy gets that? And, so when we meet the next time, we
I think it's a great idea.
are well-educated and we can,
It's funny you should say that because somebody brought that up to me the other day. The room up above the concession stand. I don't know if that was ever made out, but originally he had told, you would know a heck of a lot more than me. But he's like, oh yeah, there was supposed to be a meeting room and this, that, and the other. It just never got finished. So, I mean, if there's a project that started, I would like to finish the projects as well.
Which one are you talking about? Baseball or softball?
At Heartland, I'm not 100% sure because I think
The only one I don't know about would be softball.
okay.
I thought they had finished that. I know baseball is completely finished.
Okay.
They've actually remodeled a second time where they put all brand new windows,
Yeah, I haven't-
painted it.
I haven't been there in a
They
year.
have like a meeting room where they do like all the drafts for the players and everything. They have storage up there. The girls I don't know about, but I thought I don't know if anybody here knows. But I thought at one time it was hollowed. I don't know if they finished that or not.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take a ride over there, or if you got the keys or whatever, we both go or whatever you want to
I
do.
don't have for softball, but
But yeah, well, we figure it out. Well,
Okay.
and just get them finished because I mean, the
Yeah.
girls
So
softball
they
is just
can
as
use
important
them.
as the boys baseball.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. My girl played softball.
I think that'd be more on. They would have to come to us and
Okay.
ask us because that's kind of they built that. The girls built their own.
Okay,
They actually went out and got a loan on it. They built it. They've done everything with that.
okay,
To where I think it's a great idea, but I think that we kind of throw it out there that if we are really interested, he's like we'd like to help you out if you guys are interested.
work with them.
and let them come with us and say, hey, this is what we're thinking. Then it doesn't look like we're coming in and being like, we're taking over your.
Yeah, or it'd be
Clubhouse.
a shame to throw money at them when it has nothing to do with us as well.
Right.
Let's make a happy medium or something.
Right.
I agree with you. I just don't know. You know what I mean? I'd like to look further into it and see. So,
Yeah, I think we're looking a little far. Like the contract right now, that's obviously a big issue. Like once, like you said,
Well, that's what I'm saying.
our attorneys are looking at it. Like, is that something like if we have a study, are we gonna be able to really discuss anything on it or?
So once that information is made available, at any time as the board, you can call a meeting. It doesn't have to be at your next schedule.
But is that like gonna be like set? Like this is what the attorney's saying that we have to do. We have to do it, or can we still change stuff? Or
I mean, if you see something in there that you'd like to see tweaked or changed, I'm sure they're taking everyone's suggestions.
Right.
Yeah.
I was just kind of
Yeah, I
curious.
think it'd be good to do it ahead of time, and that way, next month, it's sealed and they know what direction they're going in. I think it's only fair.
Okay.
And we need to invest in our youth.
We want to set that up now or a study
Well, we have
session,
to
or
wait
do
till
we
he
have
gets
to
the-
wait till we get that?
I would wait till.
Then you
we-
reach out to us.
We get the information, then, like I said,
Then we
pass it
can
along
by
to you
email
guys
or
and
whatever.
you
Perfect.
can decide on
Yep.
when to
Okay.
meet.
Good idea.
Yep.
All right.
That's all I had.
I'm gonna look the names before I start saying them again. Stephanie.
No, I don't have anything else.
All right, town staff. Any reports or correspondence from the town staff? Town manager.
Nothing to report, just we have a lot of events coming up. We're encouraging everyone in town to take a look and come join us.
All right, anything else from reports and correspondence from anybody? Payments of bills. Letter A, accounts payable voucher dated February 20, 2024, representing payment for payroll, supplies, services, and equipment rendered to the Park and Recreational Board for the town of St. John and the combined total of $115,452.89. I would like to entertain a motion to pay the bills as posted.
I'll make a motion to pay accounts payable voucher dated February 20th, 2024, representing payment for payroll, supplies, services, and equipment rendered to the Park and Recreation Board for the town of St. John in the combined total of $115,452.89.
We have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor of this motion of paying the bills signify with an aye.
aye.
All opposed with an nay. And it's carried. Any public comment? We have no public comment. I would like to acknowledge and welcome our town council members, Mr. Mike Bovat and Miss Ann Oster. Thank you for joining us tonight. We have no other public comment tonight. Entertain a motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn this meeting for this evening.
I have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor to adjournment, signify with an aye.
Aye.